after Vicky had been dancing for 4 years at this point. She was at the club one night and this old man gets wheeled in a wheelchair, and his name is James Howard Marshall. Now, James Howard Marshall was not just some older man. He was an 86-year-old billionaire. He immediately saw Vicky and was smitten with her. And he asks her for a dance, and she gives him a dance. After just one date with him, she ends up quitting dancing, and he asked her to. He said he would take care of her. He put her on an allowance, honey. He started really taking care of her. Now, James had 2 sons, 2 adult sons. One of them was in his upper 50s and 60s, and he was not happy about his father getting with Vicky. He thought she was a but James is the one that seeked her out. Within the first week of him meeting Vicky, he proposed to her. She did say no, but he was already trying to marry her and wife her up. James started giving her anything and everything you can think of. He bought her a 15-acre ranch, honey, with a big, beautiful home. He had horses on her ranch, but yet she still was not happy with just that. She wanted to pursue her dreams. And so one of her friends came to her because they saw this magazine where they were looking for new talent. And so she went to this photographer and got 4 Polaroid pictures of herself, just her standing there and doing different poses, and sent them into Playboy, and they called her and wanted her to come in and shoot. She was flipping out. She ended up in 1992 doing her first Playboy shoot where she was on the cover and everything. She started to get little roles in different movies, and she was just living her absolute dream at this point. However, she was still in constant pain. She said she was in back pain. She supposedly had migraines, and it ran in her family, and she was on a lot of different medications. And in 1995, James's health started declining. He got a infection of some sort and ended up in the hospital, and she would go and see him, and she would wear her little bikinis and get up in the bed with him and make him smile and stuff, but he never fully recovered from that. A part that I didn't tell y'all is allegedly 2 weeks after they were married, James's son, Pierce, had his father, who is a billionaire, sign over power of attorney to him. So now that he was in the hospital, Anna finds out that his son, Pierce, has basically all of the control over him. So since he has all this control over him and he has power of attorney, he stops her allowance that she was getting. He stops the paying her bills. All the stuff that he was doing for her, he completely stopped. When James did die, there was a fight over the body between Anna and her stepson over his $1.6 billion estate. She has to go and fight his sons over the $1.6 billion because in his will, he did not have her in the will. But she was like, he was my husband. He didn't need to have me in the will. So this is going to start at this point a long, very long, years worth of court battles. And this is when she meets a man named Howard K. Stern. Howard K. Stern would come into her life as a lawyer, but not leave her life ever. He will be with her for the rest of her days. By this time, Howard K. Stern, who was hired to be her attorney, was with her everywhere she went. Anytime you saw Anna, you saw Howard. I mean, he even moved in with her. Now, this is when things started just getting more out of hand for Anna. In 2000, a judge ruled that yes, she should get half of the estate. So he gave her like $486 million worth of the estate. But she knew that that wasn't going to be the end of it. That happened where that judge awarded her that money in California. She had to go to Texas the next year and just close it out with another judge. When she went to Texas the next year, the other judge said she didn't get a dime. So she ended up not getting anything at that point. In 2004, Anna was at a Kentucky Derby when she met a guy named Larry Burkhead. Larry Burkhead was a photographer there. He was hired by the Kentucky Derby to take pictures. And when she saw him, she was being her normal flirty self. I mean, she kissed him in the mouth the very first time she saw him. Things from there just kept getting weirder and weirder, to be honest. She decides that she wants to buy a boat, a big yacht, for whatever reason. The boat that she finds that she wants to buy is in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and they're in the Bahamas. And I don't know if you guys know, but you know, between like Miami or the Florida Keys, you can literally drive a boat to the Bahamas. within like a few hours or so many hours or whatever. So she's going to go, so she goes to Fort Lauderdale. She brings her psychiatrist with her. She brings her bodyguard with her. She brings Howard with her, and she leaves her baby with some friends down there in the Bahamas. And she brings some more friends with her as well, because they're going to help her drive the boat back to the Bahamas. But before she gets ready to leave, she gets a shot in her left cheek, which is an HGH shot, which is a human growth hormone. This is supposed to be, allegedly, from what I'm reading, weight loss and to stimulate cells and all of that, which human growth hormone seems like you would grow instead of lose weight, but allegedly she was taking it for weight loss. I don't know. She starts complaining that she's having pain in her left cheek. She's starting to sweat and shake a lot, which was not uncommon for her, according to the people that were around her, to the shaking and the sweating. And she gets to Fort Lauderdale. That night, her fever spikes to 105 degrees, which is, you need to go to the hospital, sis. Her friends are there. They see her temperature. She tells them she does not want to go to the hospital, so they put her in an ice bath and they get her fever down to 97 degrees. And this is, again, where when you have yes men around you, 105 degrees, it does not matter if she wants to go to the hospital or not. Somebody should have took her. Somebody should have called 911. You put her in an ice bath. Yeah, you're lowering her temperature, but whatever the problem is that caused her temperature to spike to 105 degrees is still there. Anyway, so they put her in the bed. It is said that the scene around her while she's laying in this bed, super sick, she can barely move, she's like, having all, like, she's very weak and sick and has this fever, and she's taking flu medication and she's taking her regular medications, and all around her is like diet cans and cans and empty gum wrappers and just different stuff, like trashy stuff laying all around her. So the next day she gets up, and people that were there said that she did not urinate. Like, she did not go to the bathroom at all. And she had a fever again of 100 degrees. They're saying that they asked her to go to the hospital again, and she refused because she didn't want the tabloids in her business. She was tired of people making up rumors about her, according to her, that she said that they were rumors. And she just did not want to do that. She wanted to get better at the hotel room, is what they said she said. There was even a point where somebody said that she was in the bathtub in a dry bath, confused at what she was doing, and they got her back into her bed and they got her to eat a little something, so they thought she was doing okay. But by the next morning, things took a nosedive again. A woman walked in, which I believe it was the bodyguard's wife, walked in at 1 p.m. and saw her slumped over with her mouth open and like not breathing. And so they got her, and everybody that was there, they tried to resuscitate her. According to them, they tried to resuscitate her for 15 minutes. They couldn't get it, and then they called 911. 911 is called. She's rushed in an ambulance to the hospital, and within 6 minutes of her making it to the hospital, she is pronounced dead. Later toxicology reports would confirm or say that she died from and it was a lethal combination of medications. Now, 8 of the 11 medications that was found in her system, oh, you heard me right, 11 different medications found in her system, 8 of them were prescribed to Howard and not Anna. Howard, her other doctor, and the one that was there on vacation with her, hanging out, the psychiatrist, were all arrested. Howard was arrested, I believe, on like 8 felony charges, something like that. And then the other 2 doctors were arrested on 6 charges. And conspiracy to prescribe was the charges. I do think later on that they ended up beating the charges and getting out of it. But a pharmacist did come and testify at Howard's trial and said that when he was filling prescriptions for her, that he literally called the doctor and said, hey, this is pharmaceutical homicide. She should not be taking all of these medications. And the doctor basically said, yeah, okay, I'll talk to her, I'll fix it or whatever. But he said that he actually reached out to the doctor about it. And that, again, is a problem when you have a lot of money and you have yes men around you. And the last part is the judge situation. That court situation continued all the way until 2017, 10 years after her death, because of Danny Lynn, because they were trying to get the money for Danny Lynn. And finally, the judge was like, I'm tired of seeing this. Like, Y'all are fighting over this money, and so she never ever got any of that estate, as far as I know. And until next time, I love you guys so very much, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye. Love you guys. Bye.